As you may recall, Bergdahl deserted his unit in Afghanistan 2009, June. Shortly after that, Admiral Mike Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, visited with members of Bergdahl's unit in Afghanistan. They told him that Sergeant Bergdahl was a deserter. Mullen, who retired in 2011, now says he doesn't remember much about that meeting. But in 2014, he said this.
I think in these situations, you don't get ideal outcomes. I think it's a calculated risk that the president took and understood. The priority was to return Sergeant Bergdahl to America.
Well, that calculated risk was releasing 5 top Taliban commanders who will go back to the battlefield in about a week. But nowhere did Mullen say that he was told the man was a deserter, even though Bergdahl was portrayed as honorable by the Obama administration. So something's very wrong. Joining us in Washington with new information, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer and Fox News Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Harris. All right, Catherine, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, since your show last week, Bill, a fifth guy has come forward, another one of Bergdahl's teammates, and he's confirmed this informal Q&A session with Admiral Mike Mullen in December 2009 in Afghanistan, and he says the same thing, that Mullen confirmed to them that he knew Bergdahl had walked off base and that he had deserted. But even more significantly, this guy shared photos with us that they were given by the Defense Department to memorialize this visit with Mullen, and so now we've got a date stamp on this event of December 15th, 2009.
All right. So the most powerful military person in the country, Admiral Mullen, did go to Afghanistan, did talk to Bergdahl's unit, because desertion isn't common. You know, when it happens at the battlefield, I mean, everybody gets involved. But then he comes back, Colonel Shaffer, to the United States. We don't hear anything about it, and I guess that's, you know, he wouldn't hold a press conference on that. It was informal, he was gathering information. But then when the trade breaks and the White House has their dog and pony show with the parents, and Secretary Rice comes out and says he's an honorable man, right, and all of this stuff, Mullen, he's out of office then, he's retired then, but he doesn't say a word as a private citizen, does he?
No, that's right. Even Tony Blinken, one of President Obama's senior advisors, described the reporting that they received as, quote-unquote, spurious. It was not spurious. And this is one of those things, those critical things, Bill, is that Admiral Mullen's job is to defend the equity of the Pentagon and those men who served with him. In this case, it's not his job to stand up and defend the president's policy, be it good or bad. He should be defending the truth. And that's what I find most harmful.
Yeah, he sat it out. Right. I mean, exactly. I didn't want to tell the folks that he's now on the board of directors of General Motors and Sprint. He's got a nice pension. He's living comfortably.
Sure.
And then all his breaks, and, you know, he could have come on the Factor or anyplace else. He could have talked to you, Catherine, and said, you know what? I told these guys that it wasn't, you know, this Bergdahl guy had problems, but he didn't say a word. Right. Now, the soldiers that he talked to, Catherine, are they angry with Mullen?
They're not angry, but they really want to set the record straight. And I have to say, Bill, that we've had, unfortunately, kind of a runaround with Admiral Mullen. As you probably know, here in Washington, once these guys get out and retire, they kind of sign up for these media handlers, which unfortunately can leave the impression they're hiding behind someone's skirt, which is striking to me, because these are people who are in charge of the national security for this country.
Yeah.
And Mullen has said many times that you've got to tell the truth. And I would add that in 2009, I mean, this was not a political football at that time. There was really nothing in it for
Admiral Mullen. Even if it were, look, as a patriot, and we all have to assume that Admiral Mullen's a patriot, he served his country with honor, okay? This is, I think, the worst thing on his resume. But as a patriot, he has an obligation, Colonel, to step forward and say now what the situation was, who knew what, and then we can put the decision into context. Last word, Colonel.
Absolutely. Well, no. I mean, him forgetting or not remembering his meeting is akin to someone investigating the Titanic and forgetting that an iceberg was involved. I mean, come on. This guy was there, and I talked to one of my sources who was there and said that there's absolutely no doubt Mullen knew every detail, because we had every intelligence piece on the collecting on Bergdahl's situation.
Well, so we're going to invite the Admiral on this program. I believe he is a man of honor, and I hope he does the honorable thing and steps forward and explains. Thank you very much, guys. Directly ahead, Jason Powers writing in USA Today, hammering President Obama over the Christian issue.